Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to Aggie Radio 92.3 KBLU-LP in Logan. I'm Ryker, and I am your late-night entertainment. Welcome to Wicked Work. It is currently 8 o'clock, and we are live from the bottom of the Taggart Student Center here in the beautiful city of Logan, the New York City of the Mountain West Football Conference, as they like to say here on the show. And I'm excited to be here with you tonight. Just me, once again. Harrison is still away on business, on a business ordeal, so he should be returning next week. But I am excited to announce that we do have a guest coming a little bit later tonight, and it's a little bit of a surprise, so you're going to have to stick around to find out who it is. But if you want to get involved tonight, make sure to text 435-797-2346 with all your comments. Mainly, let's focus on like how beautiful I look tonight, even though you can't see me, but you can hear me, so you can tell how beautiful I look. And then when our guest joins, also comment about how beautiful they look. Anyway, tonight on the agenda, we are going to go ahead and finish up the story that we started last time. If you remember correctly, I was talking about my theater journey, and we're going to go ahead and take off from, where we left off last time, and that is going to be right around the time of Into the Woods at Centerpoint. So let's get into it. The year is, I believe it was 2022, and I was doing another audition show up at Centerpoint with the same director that Little Woman was, and honestly a really similar cast to the Little Woman cast, and we were doing Into the Woods, and that has been one of my favorite shows I've ever been in. And a big reason behind it is because of the moral that our director Lindsay wanted us to take away from it. She really emphasized the point. Well, there's a song in Into the Woods. Or there's multiple songs actually in Into the Woods. It's a musical. But one of the big motifs in Into the Woods is Into the Woods We Go Again. Our guest is mouthing the lyrics over there. He knows it. He was in it with me actually, so we'll have to talk about this a little later. But anyway, one of the big motifs that pop up in the show is Into the Woods We Go Again. And our director, Lindsay, really wanted us to hone in on that because in her vision, she saw the woods as problems or issues that we go into in life, trials and tribulations that we have to deal with throughout our lives. And she really liked the emphasis on Into the Woods We Go Again, because it's true in life, you're going to go into the woods a couple of times. You're going to get lost in the woods. And you're going to have to go through some very difficult things. And you don't know. And if you listen to the last song in the show, I believe, it's, yes, one of the big things was everything we learned there will help when you return there. That's one of the big lines in the show. Another couple of the big lines in the show that I'm thinking of is, I can't remember it exactly, but there is a line near the end of the show where they're mentioning going back into the woods with the people, that you found in the woods. Let's see if our co-host can find that lyric for us. But I think about the song No One Is Alone. Like, that's a very, I'd say that's almost the climax of the show right there, the moral climax of the show. And Lindsay really wanted to emphasize that, you're going to go through a lot of struggles in life, and it's really important to remember that you are not alone and that there are people that are going to be going through the woods with you. And yeah, you're going to continue to go through the woods again and again and again, but you're going to go into them stronger and with more support and with knowing the things that once you went through the woods. And I think that is a beautiful, beautiful moral to take away from that show. And it's a big reason why I'm such a big fan of that show, is because there are a lot of tiny morals in that show that you can pick up that really Stephen Sondheim took a lot of time to think about and put effort into and make sure they made sense. So that's a really big reason I love that show. Here we got some of the lyrics pulled up here. Into the woods you have to grope, but that's the way. You learn to cope. Into the wood to find there's hope of getting through the journey. Snap, 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 snap. I'm trying to look through here, see if I can find the exact lyric. You know what? It doesn't matter. Go listen to the soundtrack. You'll get what I'm saying. But the point I'm trying to get at here is one of the big reasons I do love musical theater so much is because every show really honestly has moral at the end of the day. And there's something you can take away from it and learn from it. And I don't know if it's just me, but I do think there are a lot of things in life where you can learn something from it, no matter how stupid it may seem or small or insignificant. You can learn something from it and grow as a person and change. And I think that's a really fun way to look at life. It's a growth mindset is what it is. It's a growth mindset to continue to get better and to learn from your mistakes or from your wins or whatever, and to continue to get better. So I really, really appreciate that Lindsay had us focus on that, because at that time, you know, going into high school, I was a 9th grader during that show, which is crazy. That's something I think I needed to hear, you know, is that it's going to be difficult and there's going to be times where it feels like you're going into the woods, but remember the people you're going into the woods with and remember what you learned from previous times in the woods, you know? Anyway, that was my Into the Woods moral that I didn't get to finish last time. And after Into the Woods, I became a bit of a Centerpoint loyalist, you might call me. I went to Woods Cross High, but I did not do a single show there. Asterisks. There is an asterisk to that, which I don't know. We might get to, we might not. Depends how I feel about it. But anyway, I became a bit of a Centerpoint loyalist, and over the weekend I went and hung out with one of my friends back from Centerpoint. Name's Ben. Love him to death. I mean, I love everybody equally, but I love him to death more. Anyway, we went over because we had both done a lot of Centerpoint shows, and I had actually, during my high school time slot period, the amount of Centerpoint shows I was in was around like 17 or 18 shows. It was insane. I did a lot of shows over the course of like 4 years. I was chugging them out. So I did a ton of shows, from Les Mis to Bright Star to Phantom to Evita, which we talked about a little bit last time, which is one of the most interesting shows I think I can say I've ever done in my life. I loved being in that show. That was such a fun cast to be in. And we know it. Like the few of us that were in Evita knew we were the squad and that we were the goats. And also it was such a fun age split in that cast, because it was Lila, who was a senior, and then the rest of us who were all about juniors at that time, a couple of sophomores, and then everybody else was like from the 7th grade. So we were like some of the only people that could drive in the cast, and we're in like high school. So there was a bit of an age gap there, and we were doing a pretty difficult show. So that was a fun time. I think I mentioned this last time, but I actually am one of the few alums that got to do pretty much all of the audition shows over at Centerpoint, and I'm really proud of that. And I'm really proud I worked as hard as I did, and also just so humbled and so grateful for the time and the experience I got there. It really wouldn't have been possible without the directors there, and I do owe them a lot into the person I am today, and you know, the passions I have now and the abilities that I have, and I'm really, really, really grateful for those opportunities and those people, and I can't stress that enough, how grateful I am and thankful for that. But my last show that I got to do there, the last 2 shows I got to do there were The Drowsy Chaperone and Hadestown. And I want to go to Drowsy Chaperone for a little bit, because there was, I got to play the man in chair, which was a dream role of mine for, so many years. I mean, literally, I saw it back in like the 9th grade at a dinky little middle school. I saw it and I fell in love with the character. I fell in love with the show, and I was like, one day I will play man in chair. I want to do it so bad. I will work to do that. And I got the opportunity. Once again, very grateful that I got that opportunity. And I would love to talk about that character for a little bit, because really, I think the shame with this character is there is a bit of a laziness that some people, I feel, take when playing this character. And it's the easy route. It's the easy route of going, oh, this guy's a loser. He has no friends. And secretly he's gay, tee hee hee hee, and then that's the whole character. And it's a bummer because that character is written so well. It is written so deep. And if you go ahead and dig into his lines, there are references to failings in his life that are trickled throughout the whole thing. And it's really, honestly, a terribly, terribly tragic character. It's a man who has gone through a divorce, gone through the loss of his mother, probably the loss of a couple of other people in his life. He feels isolated. He struggles to connect with people. And yet, at the end of the show, he is able to find hope through this thing that he loves so much. And basically, at the end of the show, let's see if I remember the monologue. I don't know if I do. I might. Should I give it a shot? Okay, let's give it a shot. Well, that's it. It's ruined. Oops, that's it. That's all I got. Well, that's it. It's ruined. One note from the end of the show, and it's over. And then it goes something into, I truly love The Drowsy Chaperone. My mother showed it to me when I was younger. This is the voice I did for the character, by the way, if you're confused. If you're like, what? Who is this handsome young man who has taken the booth? He has such a beautifully nasally voice. My mother gave me the record. It was right before our father had left us. No, our father didn't leave because of the record. Although I'm sure it didn't help matters. Like, oh my sadness is that line, dude. That's such a bummer. For him, like, he did embody a little bit that this thing he loves so much caused his father to leave. Oh my gosh, that's so sad. And people skip that line all the time and just turn it into a throwaway, just like a joke. Just like, ha 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 ha. But no, that's a terribly tragic line. It's so sad. And the end of that line that I'm thinking of is the important part of that line is, sure, the monkey motif is labored and the spit take scene is lame, but none of that matters. And the part of that is important is the spit take line. Oh my, no. It is, but none of that matters. And at that time, this was my last show with the Academy. So that line really hit me really hard at a deep personal level, as I'm sure it did a lot of the people in our cast. Maybe it hit me a little bit harder because I was so familiar with that line. But anyway, that line to me stood out because what he was saying there wasn't that, this show's great in spite of these things. What he was actually saying there, in my opinion, I'm not the end-all be-all on that. This is just what I think, is that, sure, these things have these flaws, and there's these strange things about that. But it doesn't matter, because what really matters is it brings me joy, and it lets me escape, and it lets me feel better about this. And I feel like that line is so much deeper than just The Drowsy Chaperone. I think that line can be interpreted in so many different ways, because I look back at my whole theater journey, and I think, yeah, that was weird, that I pretended to do all these things and be these people, and I dressed up and I wore leather pants and put on eyeliner. True story. Our guest later knows what I'm talking about. Don't worry, we'll come back to this. But I think that's such a beautiful line because at the end of the day, what really mattered throughout that entire theater experience was the connections I made and the people I got to share it with and the stories and lessons that I got to take away from it and the development that I did. And I really think I encourage people to look at their hobbies and the things they love in this way because, I think it's common now in this age to argue about things and disagree on things, but none of that matters because it's what you get out of it. Like, an easy example of this would be I'm a Denver Broncos fan. I'm a Ferrari fan. So, naturally I'm going to disagree with Chargers and Raiders and Chiefs fans and Red Bull and Mercedes fans. But none of that matters because, sure, maybe Red Bull has been better in the past couple of years and maybe McLaren is dominant right now and, maybe the Chargers, Justin Herbert's a better quarterback than Bo Nix. Not Patrick Mahomes, though. He's washed. I'm a Chiefs hater. Sure, these things might be true. There are flaws in the things I love, but it doesn't matter. You could think about it in your music, too. Everybody's got their own unique music taste. Don't let people clown on you for your music taste. Love what you love, dude. If you love Midwest emo like I do, love that thing, dude. If you love emo music, go to town on that. That's your thing. That's your thing that you connect with and you find joy. Don't care what other people say and love that, because none of that matters. What really matters is what you get out of it and the joy you experience from it. So that was a really big moral I got to take away from Drowsy. It was also a very revealing show for me because, once again, like I said, the man in chair is a pretty tragic character. And he has a lot of issues going on, and that show was difficult for me to do as an actor because my kind of, I guess, philosophy behind acting, and this, once again, I'm not a professor on this, I'm not the end-all be-all, this is just what I like to do, is to definitely get very, very into the emotions of the character. I like to, there was this guy who came and spoke to us when we were doing Something Rotten. And he was the swing actor for Shakespeare on Broadway for Something Rotten. And I was playing Shakespeare at the time. And so was our special guest later tonight. Anyway, I was playing Shakespeare at the time, and he had come to talk to our cast about, what it meant to be a Broadway actor and what that was like and what his, big takeaways from that. And the one that I really took away was a little something called the nugget of truth, which is so stupid, but also it's beautiful. It's a great thing. It's an amazing thing. But oh my gosh, can we get a better name for that, please? Can we call it the super awesome acting world of cheating and being better at acting complex? Trademark that. Anyway, pretty much what this philosophy is, you could call it, I don't know, philosophy, sure, is you have to find in which way you connect to the character personally. And this is what the nugget of truth is. You have to find your truth in that character, especially if you are unlike that character in a lot of ways. You have to find that nugget of truth. So an example would be when I played Shakespeare, he's a very narcissistic person. He's very flamboyant. He's very performative. He's a big character, which I try not to be. I try not to be very narcissistic. I try not to show off and think I'm the best. But truthfully, at the end of the day, Shakespeare, his narcissism stemmed from a place of anxiety. So that was the nugget that I tapped into, because that's really easy to be like this fear, especially as an actor, of am I good enough? Am I good enough? So I obviously changed it up to who I am and what I stood for, and switched it up a little bit into more of a anxiety about am I good enough? And the way I don't do this myself, so this is where my nugget of truth starts to end, is Shakespeare used that flamboyancy and that loudness as a coping mechanism to hide his insecurities. And that made it a lot easier for me to motivate my choices and put verbs behind my words. If you're not an actor, don't worry about that. You know what I mean. Put verbs behind my words and find my motives and what I want from people. And all I had to do was find this little nugget of truth about this character. And for the man in chair, the nugget of truth was a little less of a nugget and maybe more like a whole gold mine of truth. Because I related to him in a lot of ways. And I was definitely struggling with my, this is hard to talk about. I don't like talking about this, but I was definitely struggling with my mental health at the time. And I really am glad I got the chance to play that character. And see these things in myself and see these issues in myself and connect and get to share this message that in spite of all these things, I was still able to find hope in this character through this show and find peace. And I really, once again, encourage you to go out there and find the things that you love and find your hope in it, find your joy in it, and remember why you love it and make it personal to you. And that's kind of the big moral that I took away from a lot of this is we need to stop being so nonchalant. We need to start embracing the things and the people we love more, because that's all we get in this life. We only get one life. So what's the point of wasting it being nonchalant and pretending like we're not caring. We should care so much, because this is really all we get, you know? So those are a couple of things to think about and some big theater takeaways. But to wrap up with the big point at the beginning, I mentioned a bit of a stigma surrounding males in theater. And I would actually love to talk to my guest about this in a little bit. So I'm just going to introduce this, and then we're going to go to a quick break, and we're going to have this discussion together. But it's this, once again, I don't feel like I have to say it out loud. I feel like if I say man doing theater, we all know what stereotype I'm talking about. And once again, I stand and I say we love everybody equally, and we think it's a shame that we're making fun of people for that. Hot take Ryker. But we're actually going to go to a quick break because I really actually do want to talk to our guest about this. So we're going to go to a song that I picked tonight. And it's a little song. Oh, how do I decide? There's actually 2 songs that I picked, and I don't know which one. I think I'm going to actually go with this one. And it's a little song called Never Meant by American Football. And, this song is so beautiful. This is one of the songs I'm trying to learn on guitar right now. And it's not that hard, except for the pull-off at the beginning. You'll hear it in the riff. It is such a banger, though. It's a song about a relationship that has ended and how it has never meant to be. But if you haven't listened to this album by American Football, get on that. This is one of the best albums of all time. And it's weird because they really didn't drop anything after this album, at all. So I would highly encourage you to go listen to this album. This is Never Meant by American Football. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Never Meant by American Football. And are you so excited to meet our new guest? Coming in the right corner at a staggering 5'11", and weighing in at, I don't know, I don't want to say.
Don't get this wrong.
Okay, I'm going to say 150?
160.
Okay, that was pretty good.
That's pretty good.
At a staggering 150, he played Orpheus in Hadestown at center point. Among many other fancy roles, he was Raoul in Phantom in the Opera, Xander Farron.
Hi, everybody. So happy to be here.
Xander, welcome to Wicked Work.
Thank you so much for having me.
Joining me tonight in Harry's absence. How are you doing?
I'm having a wonderful evening, Ryker.
This is good news. All right, Harrison. Oh, no. I just called you Harrison.
Oh, no.
You're Xander.
I'm in the show.
Harrison's
I've snuck
gone.
in already. Look at me go.
I do got to let you guys know, Harrison will be back next week probably. But we're very excited to have Xander on. And we will be having Xander back on when Harrison's here for a full episode. I felt bad that we caught him on a week that Harrison wasn't here and I was finishing a story. So we'll have him back. But before we get talking to Xander, if you like keeping up with the campus news, USU sports, and local stories, be sure to grab your copy of the Utah Statesman every Monday. You can find copies in most buildings around campus. You can also text the word news to 435-797-2346. That is news to 435-797-2346. And you can stay up to date right on your cellular device. All right, Xander, what do you want to talk about tonight?
Well, I think there was a certain subject you wanted to discuss, which is the stigma surrounding men in theater.
This is true. There's a little bit of a stigma surrounding men in theater, and I'm sure we both know what it is, and we don't have to say it.
And we don't have to say it because everybody knows what it is, but I think it's really silly, you know, because at the end of the day, we're just doing something that we love, and we're telling stories, and you know what? All the people come to our stuff, too.
Right.
But I really think it's silly, oh, you like music? You must, I don't know.
You must be Fruit Loops then, buddy.
You must be
flamboyant. You like art? You weirdo.
You're telling me you listen to The Wizard of Oz in your free time?
You're
you
telling
scoundrel.
me you know Hamilton lyrics? You freak. You're supposed to know touchdown statistics, which I do, by the way.
Yeah.
I have elite ball knowledge when it comes to the Denver Broncos.
There are like no
Most
fields that
elite.
Riker isn't like a little bit knowledgeable in,
And
I think.
it's true. If you look at me, I fit not a single stereotype.
It's absolutely
Even a
true.
little bit. I'm a theater kid. I'm a Denver Broncos diehard fan. I'm a Formula One enthusiast. I know a lot about that sport. I'm a mechanical engineering major. I listen to metal, Midwest emo music. Those are my top genres. And I like girls. So checkmate, liberals.
Take that.
I guess, checkmate conservatives is actually what.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I guess that doesn't. Yeah, you're right.
Let's not get
I
political.
don't know. Let's
I don't
not get
know.
political
Let's
on
not
this
get
show.
political. But I agree with you. I think, heaven forbid, we just have a hobby that we enjoy. And really, agree with me here, we're winning.
Oh
in
my
that
gosh.
aspect.
Yeah, we are winning. Absolutely.
You know what the ratio is for girls to boys?
If you're looking at that, it's looking good. There's kissing parts.
There's kissing parts.
Happily have like a girlfriend right now, but like when I'm looking at my guys, like, oh my gosh, we
Yeah.
did the drowsy chaperone. There's 4 marriages in that one.
4 marriages.
At the end of the day, theater is a great thing because you get to meet a lot of people and you get to get really, really close with that people.
Right.
Like
Oh,
a lot
for
of like,
sure.
if you're looking at like sports and stuff, that's great. You know, you're on the field, off field. It's mostly pretty much just like off the field all the time. You just get to talk. You get to know these people, and you get to go out to eat, and you go to their houses, and you become really tight knit with a special few people, and
Oh,
that's
for
what's
sure.
special.
And I think we can both agree with that because we had our friend group
Oh my
that
gosh.
we were part of, the old Fart and Flingo, which is an amazing name.
We can talk about
Which
how
we
that
could
name
talk
happened
about how
later.
that name happened for those of you who are curious. We have our friend group that we are very close with and that we did. Oh my gosh. That was most of our shows was that friend group
Oh, yeah.
right there. Like, I was talking about Drowsy and Phantom and, Les Mis and Hadestown and all these things. And you were in them with me.
Yes.
A lot of time in my cast. Or we were counterparts.
Yeah, we worked together
A
ton.
ton. Yeah. We were counterparts
3
as
times?
Shakespeare. I think 3 times. I think that's what we decided.
Yeah.
Let's count them. In a Sailor 1.
Yes, and anything
In
goes.
Anything Goes, which is, don't look it up, but it's a huge part.
Yeah.
Shakespeare.
Shakespeare.
And there's one more.
Was it 2?
Was it 2? I swear there was one more.
I swear on my life that we
I
did
know.
it 3 times.
Should we go through what show would it have been? It wasn't Bright Star.
Can't have been Bright Star.
Wasn't Les Mis. Wasn't Hadestown. Because I was your Hermes. You were my Orpheus. I think it was 2.
Might have been 2 times.
Oh my gosh,
Oh,
that's
wow.
so weird. I swear
We're
it
getting
was more.
forgetful here on Wicked Work.
There might have been one more, but it has been erased from our memories. It would appear.
Wait for later in the show when I suddenly perk up and yell out.
Yeah, and
the
we're
show.
gonna
That's what it's
we're
gonna
gonna
be.
scream it at the top of our lungs. I know. Anyway, do you want to get into the story? How we got
Oh yeah.
the farting fling?
So the
Go for it.
reason that our group chat's name is Farting Flingo is because, well, we hang out a lot, right? Because we're friends. We do that. So the way that telling it from my perspective, I show up to our friend Ben's house. You've probably heard of him if you are an active Wicked Work listener. I show up to his house, and 4 of my friends over here, including Riker, are on the couch and like, hey,
I was here.
do you want to go to
It was,
Idaho tomorrow?
It was New Year's Eve.
It was New Year's Eve.
was
This
New
is
Year's Eve.
important because it's literally like in the middle of the night. Like, hey, do you want to wake up at 6 tomorrow morning to go to Idaho? And
Oh.
I just like, oh yeah,
to Malad City.
absolutely.
Which is, I think if you're from Logan or Utah, Malad City is like the border city between Idaho and Utah. I guess if you're
It's
from
the
Idaho,
smallest amount you can drive
It's
up.
the smallest amount you can drive up, and technically, technically the smallest amount is, technically the smallest amount's right at the border. Be quiet.
Freeway.
I love you
Shut your
equally,
mouth.
but
we
be
can
quiet.
hear you even though this is a podcast. So the night went
Jason.
on. We did
I
stuff.
just picked a name.
Whoever's listening with that name,
Yeah, I just had a panic
yeah,
attack.
they're losing their mind right now.
Um,
So I wake up at like 5:30. I take a shower and I meet up with Riker and a couple of boys. Can I drop their names?
I think so.
Okay.
Would they-
Well,
well,
no.
we can drop Ben for sure.
We can
'cause
drop
we
Ben.
know
We have a friend
Maybe-
on his mission right now
we have
too.
a friend on his mission. We won't drop his name because I think he'd be.
and then
He was a little upset
Yeah.
with what we ended up doing in Idaho. So for the
yeah,
sake
it's
of
okay. We'll keep him
not
anonymous.
knowing, we'll keep him
and
anonymous.
come back to Harrison in a minute. But
yes, we will come back to Harrison.
we all meet up at a Maverick. It's a Utah staple, and we get some snacks and we just hit the road.
We hit the road. And originally Harrison was going to come up with us. And we get to the Maverick, and Harrison's not there.
Yeah.
So we call Harrison, and we're like, okay, let's see if he picks up. He probably just overslept. Call him, no answer. Call him, no answer. Call him, no answer.
For the whole drive up, might add, every like 10 to 15 minutes, we're like, should we check on him? See if he's good? Eventually, we give up.
And then about like 45 minutes.
It's right after we pass the border
right after we pass,
Idaho.
Like it probably was maybe closer to an hour then.
Yeah.
Literally, comically, as we cross the border into Idaho, Harrison calls us and is like,
hey, are we going to Idaho?
I forgot we were going to Idaho.
Wait, like Harrison,
no, he was like, are we going to Idaho?
Going?
And we're like, we're here, dude. And he's like,
oh, I didn't set an alarm.
I didn't set an alarm, sorry. And may I say, Harrison, I love you, but that man is late to every function ever. We went golfing a lot over the summer, and we probably went, I'll say, 7 times. We'll say we went 7 times. He was on time once.
1 time out of 7?
And every other time I had to call him and wake him up.
Ooh, bad track record.
So that was a pretty bad track record from him. So I got beef with him for that. And if you know me, I'm the type of person that shows up to everything 10 minutes early. So, yeah, I was pretty frustrated because I had to sit there for like 20 minutes alone being like, no, I promised my tea time. He's coming, I swear.
He's on his way.
He's on his way. He's having car issues. Please don't refund our money. I want to go golfing. But that's a little fun fact about Harrison. So we get to Idaho.
Yeah. I think this is the point where we realize that we don't really know what we're doing in Idaho.
Yeah.
So right off the freeway, there's a gas station because can we say what we did there?
Yeah, we can say what we're adults.
You can't do any form of gambling in Utah.
No.
So a lot of people drive from Utah up to Idaho to buy scratch-offs. So we go to the gas station and we're like, hold on a minute. Guys, we have a funny idea.
What if we gamble?
What if we get like 1 cheap scratch-off each? So I think I was the first.
Yes.
Right? I put $3 in a machine and it gave us a ticket to some random game called Slimy Slingo.
Slimy Slingo was the name of the card.
Oh, I almost grabbed the frame on the way out.
Okay, we'll get to that.
We'll get to that. I almost grabbed it so I could show it.
Basically, picture this card. It's about the size of a
graduation card.
like an index card, maybe. About the size of an index card, and with donut icing font and like goofy running block letters. It says
there's green goo.
Green goo. It says slimy Slingo. And for some reason, I didn't read the card, so I started calling it Slimy Schlingo with a sound because it was so fun to say Slimy Schlingo. And at the time, allegedly,
we are not admitting
this.
We are not admitting to what we are about to say. This is for the purpose of the story.
For the record,
exaggerating,
allegedly, 3 of us were 17 at the time, and the anonymous one was
18 years old.
And
so we could legally. I mean, listen. What we didn't do was illegal.
Yeah, legally,
all we did was buy the scratch off. To cash it in, you have to be 18.
You can buy.
So we just really had to convince him, like, hey, if one of us wins, can you cash this in? And he's like,
and he said no.
It took him like 10 minutes to even warm up to the idea.
No, he was actually pretty upset with this. He was like, no, I'm not gambling. And it's like, you're not gambling. We spent the money. Yeah. You just got to cash it in. We were trying to work around this. Mm-hmm. And we feel bad for this. We obviously put him under a lot of pressure, and I apologize for that. But it was pretty funny because we all were like, oh my gosh, we're going to get in so much trouble.
We're going to get rich though, right? Like,
but we all thought we were going to win.
We're going to get $5,000 and we're going to buy a golf cart.
Yeah, we were all like, okay, if 3 of us buy Slimy Schlingo, the odds are one of us at least win like $10. So it'd be funny.
What first happens is I buy the Slimy Slingo, and I think I used my keys because I didn't have like a coin or anything to scratch it off.
Yeah, we didn't have coins.
Not a cent. Not like you would think like most scratch offs have like a return rate of like 60 to 80%. So you get like a little something back, flat nothing. So I'm like, well, that was fun. Do you guys want to like try?
And I had cash on me, so I was like, yeah, I don't care. I had literally like $3 in cash on me. And I was like, that's perfect. I'll get rid of it.
Yeah.
I'm fine. And gambling is fun. Like, I'll say it. It's bad. Don't do it. Don't do it.
We are not endorsing gambling here on Wicked Work.
But
you both bought scratch-offs.
But we both bought scratch-offs, me and Ben. And I don't think either of us won.
No, not a single one of us won a cent. And so we all just walked away with these empty, like actually $0 scratch offs. We spent $9.
Yeah, net loss of $9 on the evening. And then we went and got Subway, which was good.
That was pretty nice.
That was actually a
Took your
good
card picture
Subway
out. It
for
was good.
middle of nowhere, Idaho. That was a
Yeah.
good Subway.
And then we're like, should we head back home?
And then we
I
headed
think
back home.
I think I'm on the record of getting in the car, and it was a conversation with you. I said, I'm so disappointed in myself. You said, for gambling, and I said, no, for losing.
Yes, that is one of the greatest quotes of all time. No, because Keegan asked.
Oh, it was
Yeah.
Keegan who asked if it
Oh,
was for
wait.
gambling.
we didn't want to say his name.
Bleep that. Bleep that.
Bleep that. If you're listening live, forget that name. Oops, we're bad at
Oopsie.
this. So if you ever want to remain anonymous on this show, don't be funny.
Don't do that.
Sorry, don't be funny. Anyway, he literally, that was the greatest quote of all time.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so disappointed in myself.
For gambling?
No, for
losing.
That was the greatest quote of all time. Then we drove home, and on our way home, we were like, you know what would be funny?
You know, it would be like a really good bit. We should go to Michael's, and we got them framed. We had to spend like $7 each to get like picture frames.
We spent $20 some odd.
We all spent like $10 total on that round trip for getting these scratch
spent
offs.
like per person. It was like $3 for the scratch off,
$10
excluding
for the frame.
the anonymous one.
Yeah, he didn't buy any.
He didn't buy any, whatever his name may be.
No one knows.
No one knows. Not even us. If like we said a name on accident, it would be a guess.
Yeah.
A complete guess, and it's probably not his name.
Probably Kyle.
It's probably Kyle. That's Kyle. So Kyle didn't buy a scratch off. But we all got Subway, so that's like another $10. So most of us are at like 13. And then the three of us that got the scratch offs bought a, case for the scratch off. So we spent like $33 on that trip, and I spent an extra like $20 on gas.
Oh my gosh.
So on New Year's Eve, I lost $50, and that's a little tale on how I lost $50.
It was
on
a
New Year's
net
Eve.
negative for all of us, but I think there were some good things that came out of that.
Oh,
like,
it was a great time.
I looked up 37 best games to play on the road, and we played all of them.
We played all of them.
We played every single one, and some of them were ongoing, so we had like 6 different rule sets. Like,
Yeah.
you have to punch people if there's a car without a light, and then you have to hold your breath under bridges.
It got complicated.
It got really
It got
complicated.
really complicated. I forgot a
We
lot
have to
of
yell
them.
cows every time there's cows.
Yeah, that one stuck
that
around
one is good
for
because
a
it
while.
turned into here's I'm gonna try to emulate Ben. Instead of saying cows, he just started going moo.
Yeah, you went no, and
Yeah.
it was great and awesome and funny every single time. Don't quote me on that. But how we ended up naming our group chat is, do you remember what it was called?
It was just called.
Oh,
I think it was just called.
At that
Slimy
time,
Slingo
we
for a
had
minute.
2 group chats.
Oh yes, we had Super Sigma Party.
We had
Chat.
Super Sigma Party Chat, which I named, and I was so proud of.
Yes.
That's an amazing name for a group chat.
Yeah.
Super Sigma Party Chat. And we had created another one for whatever reason. And we named it, I can't remember the name of it, but it didn't really
I think
have a
at
good
some
name.
point we did change it to Slimy Slingo or Slimy
Yes,
Schlingo.
it started as
at some point.
Slimy Schlingo.
because that's what we were calling it. We got Schlingo tickets.
And I don't remember who.
It feels like
If you're
Harrison
listening
did.
right now, you can go ahead and text in if you remember who.
If you remember who, guys, I'm
and if
watching.
I can find that phone number for you, it's 435-797-2346.
Yes.
That's 435-797-2346. Someone ended up changing it to Farting Flingo, and we kept it because we're like, that's hilarious.
That's so funny.
I don't remember who did that, though. I have my guesses as to who did it, but I don't remember.
I'm not totally sure.
I don't want to take credit for it either because I don't think it was me.
Yeah.
But regardless, that's how that name came about. How was your fall break, Zan? Your one-day fall break.
My one-day fall break, I went home and I watched a bunch of shows. I saw Something Rotten. I saw Little Shop. And I saw my friends in Midsummer Night's Dream.
This is fun.
The set was beautiful. I had a great time with that. But on the way up,
But you have a little story.
I have a
to
little
tell us.
story to share. So, back last December, I got a gift card from my grandma, and it was a very nice thing. I think she's a Temu victim. She got me a lot of like little things, but she did get me a $10 gift card to Burger King.
Right.
Burger King, I'm just gonna say it. Burger King's not good.
No.
It's
Burger King
it's-
is the worst.
It's pretty bad. It's
Fast
like
food
White
restaurant.
Castle, Jack in the Box. They're kind of like a bundle of foods you eat
I like White
in a
Castle.
certain
Yeah, in a certain
state of mind, you know.
In a certain state of spending your green while you're green, if you get what I mean.
if you
know?
get what he means, he's
That's
a
a
green
banger.
bean. That's
Quote me
really
on
that
that.
was quote him on that.
But I feel like Arby's is the worst. That's my personal.
Arby's, really?
Arby's is the worst.
Yeah,
This is terrible.
I've never had a sandwich at Arby's. They have good shakes.
We have
on my
terrible.
life.
It shouldn't be we have the meats. It should be we have terrible food.
Yeah.
At Arby's. Don't come eat here.
Don't eat at Arby's. But
Anyway.
I got this $10 gift card to Burger King. I'm like, oh, thank you so much. And after this, I'm like, when am I gonna spend this? There's the nearest Burger King
Burger
is
King.
15 minutes from my house. Good one. And then,
and the one in Woods Cross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that far away. And I'm like, Burger King kind of sucks. You know already the card is like made of really thin, bendable cardboard.
Right.
And I'm like, this is going to tear. So I put it in my car. Fast forward to orientation, I realized there's a Burger King up here. This is important.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, we should go. And I'm like, no, I don't want it.
Yeah.
But I read the Yelp reviews at this moment for it.
Right.
And it's 1.5 stars.
Oh my lord.
It's abysmally bad. Even like
how do you even get
in
that
comparison
bad?
to other Burger Kings around us?
Yeah,
with like 3 and 4. Like it's not good food, but like 1.5 stars. And I'm like, what? Well, I'm gonna download the Yelp app so I can read them. And it's like, I should have listened to everyone else. I had a terrible time. Matt on the deep fryer called me an idiot and then threw the food at me. And I'm like, what is happening? Are there rats in this restaurant?
You like
so
pull
I was
up
like
to the
dying
front of the
to know.
restaurant and it says Evil Burger
Or
King.
So I realized I didn't have time to go, but I was like, I have to hit this at some point.
At some point, yeah.
So on the drive up, I'm feeling a little peckish. I ate a little while before.
Right.
And I'm like, we pass one Burger King that's like connected to a gas station on the way up. And I'm like, I'm with my girlfriend.
Yeah. And you're
I'm
like,
like, hey, girlfriend, do you check my console? Do I have a Burger King gift card in there?
it's like
she finds it.
The worst magic trick of all
It's
time.
terribly bad.
Go ahead and check my glove compartment. Tell me what you find.
Mm-hmm. So she finds it, and I'm like, you remember from several months ago when we found Evil Burger King with 1.5 stars on Yelp? We should go. We should literally go. And it's free, so it's like whatever happens, you know, right? So we pull up outside. We pregame it by reading all the reviews again. And then the handle is sticky.
Oh.
As soon as you try to open the door, the handle is sticking. I'm like, that's not a great sign.
Bad.
In my head, here's what happens. It's a funny bit. Something's a little weird with the restaurant. We get our food. It's fine.
Right.
We're done.
You move on with your life.
Both of us have to use the bathroom.
Okay.
So the first thing we hit in this restaurant is the bathrooms. As a combined experience, things smeared in the toilet, yellow
you
stains.
Can guess what that
yellow
might be.
stains on the sink, along with other things.
Right.
A terrible stench. The hand dryer blew freezing air on my hands, and the urinal almost touched the ground. So
comically bad.
So comically bad as a bathroom. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
Like,
might I say, by the way, also that the door opens right to a side angle of the urinal with no wall.
So you just open up, see straight crotch.
Yeah, and there's not a wall between that and the sink either. So we're done with that, and I'm like, girlfriend, we have to, so like, let's figure out what to order, right? So we hide behind the wall and we peek over the menu and we're like, what can we get? Like, how many items can we get for the least amount of money so that we can try everything that's bad? I'm really settle on.
That's a good idea. That's smart.
Fries. These mozzarella fries, which are pretty just like really thin mozzarella sticks. We're gonna get a little sundae, and we're gonna get cheesy tots, which were $1.70, and I'm like, those can't be good. Let's try them.
Yeah. Oh, but in concept, they sound amazing.
Alone, these foods should be pretty bad.
Right.
We get up to the register. The guy seems a little confused. I think he's like one of 2 people behind the counter.
Yeah, poor man.
Yeah. But he's like, hey, what can I get for you? He's very helpful in his defense. So I was like, hey, can we get the ice cream? And he's like, sorry, we don't have any ice cream. It's actually the machine is broken. I'm like, okay. Can we get the mozzarella fries? And he said, we're out of mozzarella fries. And so at this point, I'm like, okay, let's get regular
What do you have
fries.
at this establishment?
Yeah, we have fries. Okay, good. Can we get the cheesy tots? And he said, actually, those were from, we haven't gotten a shipment for those in 2 months. We are, I think that promotion's outdated. I'm like, it's still on the projector. You haven't like changed it? He's like, no. So we tried to order 4 items and 3 of them weren't there.
So it's like an off-grid Burger King.
It's like a Burger King that
Burger
doesn't
King.
get anything in, and it's sticky.
Oh.
So we get
sticky.
He says, but you have to try the Cine Minis. And I said,
and you're like, well, sir.
I guess so. I guess we have to try the smallest order of Cine Minis. Fast forward, those were actually okay. They were like they were fine. They were tiny cinnamon rolls. I think they bought them from a Costco, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
But
so forget about those. That's not interesting.
Yeah. Forget about those. It's not relevant to the story. We end up getting the food almost immediately from the counter. He hands it to us in 2 bags that are too big, like 2 paper bags. Like you couldn't have put them in the same one.
Yeah.
And on our way out, he says, "Oh, just by the way, we're out of ketchup." And I'm like, okay, that's interesting. But in my head, I'm thinking, that's a weird thing to say, but I am thinking, how does a burger restaurant run out of ketchup? That's like their main export, probably.
Yeah. That's like the dipping sauce of all time.
And they put them on the burgers and everything. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like you have to have ketchup. How did you run out of that?
Was it like frighteningly fast how
It was
got
like
your food?
30
Or, like,
seconds.
Like, oh, so like what?
Oh, that was peculiar.
this
Like,
is
we
it?
go to regroup and we sit and it's like,
Because like
order
I get
for
the
Zan.
whole point of fast food is like you get your food fast.
yeah, that's it.
But like
that's
there have been
too
times
fast.
where like I'm in a drive-through and I'm like, take this back. What did you do with this? That was way too quick.
Absolutely.
Except I'm a shy young boy, so I'm not going to say anything. I just go, okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks so much.
And then leave. But anyway, you sit down.
Yeah. We end up going back to my apartment with the food, right? And we open it. It was a very short drive. It was like 5 minutes.
Oh,
I
yeah,
parked
that's not
outside.
far.
We're good. We walked in. The fries are soggy. They're like genuinely like I feel like they like dipped them all in water before. Or like the guy took each fry and goes,
For our beautiful audio listeners, Xander went ahead and sucked the salt off all the fries.
Yeah, I feel like that's
Can I say that? Can
Might
I
I
say
say
that?
completely unsalted fries too.
Yeah.
Sauce did not help.
Right.
We had a bad time at this unnamed Burger King location. Don't dox me. But you can guess which one. Anyway, it was a very bad Burger King experience. Because we thought like, oh, it's going to be funny to visit. But sincerely, it was just as bad as everyone said. And anyway,
Yeah.
I'm going to leave a Yelp review later, so.
Did you get sick?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. I feel
We're
like
still
it's
in
gonna
a
hit in
window
like
of
2 days.
possibility?
Yeah, I feel
Okay.
like it's not like easy like food sickness. I
Yeah,
feel like
yeah.
I feel like there was like an STD in the fries.
You're gonna like
And they're gonna
go to
hit.
the doctors and they're gonna be like, "You got the clap," and you're like, "What? Huh?"
Oh, I went
Yeah.
to Burger King 2
I went
weeks
to
ago.
Burger King. I went to the clap.
Oh,
Burger
what an
King.
idiot I am, huh?
That would be crazy. That would be grounds to sue. That would be a movie. I feel like in a couple of years
Dude, I would love to
where
see
like
this Burger
Jonah
King.
Hill is playing the lead,
It really
and
wasn't
he's
good.
like, "I got the clap from Burger King."
There was just one. The only people in the restaurant. There was one guy sitting in the corner with the crown in his hands as he ate.
solemnly staring
Like
at
he's
his
like,
trophy.
should I take this? Like, can I have it? I don't know. I have never had that bizarre of an experience at a restaurant before.
How odd. Well, I'm terribly sorry you had that terrible experience
Yeah.
at Burger King. But
Arby's
other
would
than that,
never do this.
Arby's would never do this. They just make you sick. Arby's is the worst. I'm sorry. I'm going to stand on business about that. But other than that, you had a good day break, which, okay, if you don't go to USU, just by the way, our fall break was a day.
Mhm.
What the heck,
What
man?
the
Like, really? It's midterms. Give us like at least 2 days.
Give us
like,
2
that
days
was
so we get
stupid.
half a week. Like,
Like,
what is one day gonna do
What
for
is
us?
one day gonna
Especially
do?
like with a college schedule where like
Yeah.
some people
It's
probably
alternating
don't
days.
have Fridays.
Yeah, like
at
a lot
all.
of business students don't have Fridays. Like the business school tries not to
changes
give people
nothing.
Fridays. That's just a normal.
Had like a like
At
a basket,
least,
like a
at,
net.
at least give Thursday off as well, because then you have the alternating class each have a
Yeah.
day off. It makes sense.
Maybe it should be
but
like you get Wednesday and Friday off, but not Thursday.
not Thursday. So
You
you're just
have
like
to
2
come in.
classes behind on
Yeah.
your Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That'd be funny.
That'd be, I think, a good system.
I had a pretty good fall break. I ended up going to the Utes game,
Oh, yeah.
and I'm sorry that Aggie Nation has to find out this way that I am a Utah fan.
Boo.
I do have to say I am a big Utah State fan. I always will be. Utah State is my basketball team forever and always for college sports, and of course I love our football team so much. I've been to every home game. But I will say a Utah man am I, and a Utah man I am at heart, and a Utes fan I am. So I went to the Utah game, and it rained so much.
Oh,
It
was this
so
during
wet.
that rainstorm?
Yes.
Oh my
dude,
goodness,
that was
it was
when,
terrible. Was this Saturday?
yeah, it was Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
That was what, 4 inches of rain, 5
Oh,
inches
it
of
was
rain?
awful.
It was
When I was
terrible.
like driving onto the freeway, genuinely, I was like, my tires were like, the water was coming. I was like, did I pop a tire or
Yeah.
something? And no, it was just the water on
Did
the
you
freeway.
hydroplane or
No, we didn't. But
Okay,
it was
good.
really a concern of, is my car gonna sink into like, there's like,
like a pothole that
you
you're
know,
not gonna
in
see?
a cartoon when someone's skipping
Yeah,
the
and like
puddles and then they
Gumball.
go,
Yeah, and they
boom.
like sink
Yeah.
all the way in. Yeah, I know
I
what
thought
you're
that was
talking
gonna
about.
happen to my car.
It was a lot of rain, and we went tailgating, and I went with my cousin and my brother, and my cousin, he got his poncho. I can't quote him verbatim what he did say because that's not family friendly, but it was pretty funny. We give him his poncho, and he goes, "Ponchos are for,
Alliteration.
we could say box. If you know what box I'm talking about,
Yeah, cowards. Some
Cowards.
kind.
Cowards is good. That's good. I don't know what I can say that's safe, so I'm just not going to try. So he said that. He threw the poncho on the table, and we get there. We're tailgating for like an hour, and about an hour later, he is drenched head to toe. Actually drenched head to toe, and my brother had his poncho, but he was once again drenched head to toe. So we're tailgating at the Utah game. We get into the stadium. There's about a 20-minute rain delay, and from there, it's not raining too bad. But I was the only one not complaining because we had nosebleeds, and we blew them out. ASU lost by like 30 points. They didn't have their starting quarterback, but they had their starting defense, so that is still a good performance from the Utes. Thank you very much. So we blew them out, and we left about 10 minutes early because my brother was like, I'm going to die if we stay here any longer. And my cousin was like, it's a blowout, let's go. But I was like, no, I want to stay for the whole game.
I want to see if anything changes in the last 10 minutes.
I know.
I actually would. It's not the point necessarily if something misses. It's like you just want to watch the game.
You paid for the ticket. You want to watch the game. Anyway, so we get to the tracks. We took the tracks down there, the Salt Lake tracks, and we get in the subway, or not the subway, but the tracks car. And we were on the tracks for about an hour. Like, if you've been to a Utes game, you know that's just what happens. So we're on the tracks, and we're cramped in there. And my brother looks at me and my cousin, and he goes, I don't feel good. I feel like I'm going to pass out. And literally then passes out.
Oh, my gosh. On the moving car?
Yep. His eyes roll back, and he falls in front of us. And my cousin and I saw this happening. Like, we saw his eyes roll back, and we're like, well, he's going down. So we grab him, and thankfully some very, very nice people next to us gave away their seats for him to sit down. And he pops up, and he goes, I passed out, didn't I? So that was my Utes game experience. We got the Holy War coming up. Xander, are you a BYU or a Utah fan? Do you know?
I don't do a lot of sports, but between those two, absolutely Utah. Absolutely, 5,000%.
I'm nervous. I am so nervous for that game. I think Utah should win by all accounts.
I'm going to be watching it. It's going to be good.
If there's any watch parties at USU, please let me know. I want to go. I think the Utes should win. By all accounts, our offense is better. But that BYU defense, I do have to give them credit. It's a good defense. It's a great defense. But also, BYU, you have not played any real teams yet. And you've also
I actually have been following that season.
So
I don't know half these names.
Yeah. You've played Arizona and almost lost to them. They're unranked. You've played Colorado and almost lost to them. They're unranked. And then every other team you've played and barely blown out are unranked nobody schools, borderline FBS schools. Get out of here with your 6-0. It's a fraudulent 6-0. Hopefully. And now I say this, BYU is going to put up 45 points on us, which that's just my luck. But I do have to say, I hope Utah wins. Go Utes. Go Aggies. Go both teams. We are just about out of time here. And Xander has picked our outro song for the day. So, Xander, would you like to tell us what you've picked?
Yes, I would. Thank you all for listening to Wicked Work. This song is a little one that I like to listen to when it's a sunny day out and I'm feeling like I'm in my best mood. I'm about to do some jumps and spins outside. I'm about to cruise down some uncrowded road. It's very much a favorite of mine. This is Mr. Blue Sky
by the Electric Light Orchestra. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. I was Ryker Thompson.
And I was Xander Farron.
Thank you very much for tuning into Wicked Work. We'll see you next week.